everybody. Episode 27, Relatively Speaking Pod, back in your life. How's it going?
It's wonderful.
Wonderful, lovely day. Actually, not too hot today, as it's been extremely hot in the last week. But
yeah, it's warming up.
Today seems nice.
It's warming up.
Yes, we're experiencing that Reading heat. We're going from those cool spring breezes of loveliness into the pits of hell. No, it's not.
It
that
has its
bad.
bright spots,
Yeah.
you know, when you're at the lake or in the water or asleep.
Asleep with your AC charging you $5 by the minute.
Yeah. Oh, what temperature do you sleep at night?
I don't know. Like, what do I set my AC to? Well, now with the whole room situation, we've been switched into the outside room, so it's different.
Does that one work pretty well?
Yeah, that one's not too bad. That one's like, it's like a mini split, so I just have it at the lowest, which is 62. But I don't know that it actually obviously doesn't get.
Does it run the whole time?
The whole night?
Yeah.
Well, we've just like now done it. Like this week started running it through the night, but yeah, it does.
Dang.
So typically though, it's actually funny that you say this because I think Becca was just like talking about her friends and like how low they like keep their house and stuff like that. And Sip and I were like, what the heck? Like I set it to like 76.
How low do they set it?
Like in the 60s all day long, every day. Yeah. I have it at like 76. Today I haven't turned it on yet or anything. Normally like mid-afternoon I'll turn it on to about then, and then I turn it on when the kids go to bed at like 8. I put it at like 74 and I keep it there for like an hour or two, and then I turn it off. And then
You have it off while you're asleep.
I have it off in the house. And then when I wake up in the morning, the house is at like 76. Yeah.
60.
Not 60. In the 60s.
60s.
Yeah. 69, 68, something like that. 67.
Are you
I don't
not looking at your utility bill?
know. Maybe not, dude. That was definitely a factor moving here that I was not factoring. I was not factoring that factor.
I get energy usage warnings from PG&E all year long.
Well, bro, yours is insane.
But it's not.
Explain why it's that way again.
Why what?
Why yours is so much higher.
Why I'm getting ass by PG&E?
Yeah, why it's so much higher.
Well, because I'm in a rural zone for PG&E, so it costs them more to deliver the electricity to my house.
Isn't it that you're not on like the city utilities or something?
Yeah, so you're on City of Reading.
Yeah.
I'm on PG&E. And PG&E charges more for electricity than the city does, and probably because they're paying out the ass to fire victims for starting 3 of the worst fires in the history of California.
Yeah.
But even regardless of the cost, they send me notifications on, you're in the top 90 percentile for energy usage in your area, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'd love to see like the demographic because other than
it's all just vacant homes.
Right. Probably. I don't know. It's just weird because I set ours during the day it's at 78.
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock, it goes to 76. 8 o'clock, it goes to 74. And at 11 o'clock, it goes to 72. And then it's at 72 for the night. But it usually, because our house is insulated well, it'll run for a couple hours and then shut off.
Okay.
And then maybe if it's really hot outside, it'll turn on a couple more times during the night. But then at 6 a.m., it's back to 76.
Yeah, dude, our AC won't even get our house that low when it's as hot as it gets.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you can
I
set
turn
it
mine
to
off
69 or
it'll
something
freeze.
and it won't do it.
If it's like you have it set to cool down to 70 and it's 100 outside, it will never shut off. And that's when like what just happened to Marin's when it froze.
Oh, that's what happened is? Oh, dang.
Yeah. So, yeah. At a certain point, it was just we turn it on like at the very end of the day and keep the house comfortable while we're asleep. Otherwise, it's like the kids are running in and out of the house and leaving the door open and
yeah,
using the oven or the dryer.
Heats up the house. Yeah.
It feels like if everything feels hot.
Yeah.
But it's Reading is a lovely place to live.
Yeah. Those 3 months though.
You question your life choices for sure. And it's very hot and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But if you, like you learned last year, getting up with the sun at 3 a.m. and going out and doing your stuff, if you get done what you need to get done early enough in the day, then you can just vegetate by some body of water for the rest of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's funny that you say that too, because we just had our cousins in town, Caleb and Jasmine.
And
Justice and Jaron. For our niece's first birthday.
Shout out Paulina. Happy birthday.
Yes.
You'll never see this.
We already gave you a shout out last week, but you get a double shout out.
Double shout out. Double portion. Double gratefulness.
But Caleb and Jasmine, I don't want to, not to bag on them, but I just would never, they've like talked about living other places and stuff. For me, it's hard to see them being anywhere but Orange County. Not that they're like bougie or anything, but kind of. And
not that you are that, but you are that.
No. But you know, and it's whatever. They've grown up there, as we all did, you know. But I'd like to say they grew up on the other side of the tracks. So they came and visited, and they really loved it, and it was awesome. They really enjoyed it. And I was saying Jasmine's fairly quiet, obviously not with her husband or, with me and Sip at times. She can be a chatty Cathy, but around new people, she's fairly quiet.
I appreciate about her as another quiet individual.
Yeah. It's nice to not have to be stealing all the air in the room. So she's great. They were leaving and they were driving home, and they just like sent us a super sweet text about how much they loved being here, and like specifically the city of Reading, and that it was like a super healing trip for them. She just got done. Actually, dude, I don't know if we announced it on here. We announced at the time of her diagnosis that she had cancer, and we put up the link to her GoFundMe. And I don't think we've addressed the fact that she's cancer free now. So give Jesus a round of applause. Thank you, Lord. She's cancer free. So they were, they had been through a little bit of a hard time, and they were just saying that being here and the slowness of Reading was super good for them, and they just really enjoyed it. They loved the lake, and we're just talking about like the landscape and how like beautiful it was. And that was just cool to hear, because, obviously when you have somebody come visit and you want them to like where you are, you want to show them the cool stuff, hopefully they have a good time, be a good host, and want them to come back ultimately. So it was cool. And they're already planning their next trip in November. Hopefully we're trying to plan it so they can see the season. So hopefully it's cold. Maybe we'd have to push it back another month or something, but I think November could be great.
November is very pleasant.
Yeah.
You think we did Thanksgiving at your house outside?
Yeah. And I was wearing like a big jacket in that. So yeah,
it was like warm. It was nice because we ran that day. It was nice. It's nice during the day, and then it cools off at night.
So November would be a cool time for them to come too. Wow. There's always a big UFC pay-per-view in November. They always do Madison Square Garden.
MSG, so baby.
We were saying that'd be cool if maybe they planned it around that one, and we did a big party here at the office. The Relatively Speaking Pod HQ.
Yeah, we got to renew the lease here. It's up in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think that they're just going to renew it based on, we're going to pay them in good looks.
Yeah.
They're going to take our handsomeness. Otherwise we're going to be
I don't know what we're going to
starting our OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You're up. I think your mustache would get you a lot of money.
You
could just dress up your mustache, like cover your eyes, your mouth, just show the mustache, put like maybe a little
you just eat phallically shaped fruits.
No, just put like a, we can attach
flaccid.
I don't know. Attach
flaccid's
some
not a good
stuff
thing.
to your mustache. Put it in like a
You
costume.
obviously know what a mukbang is, right?
Yeah, I think we talked about that on here.
Yeah, the mustache mukbanger.
There you go.
and just eat the greasiest, dirtiest food and have it just be my mustache.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
It is disgusting, but dude,
Just ketchup and mustard all over your stash.
you know, imagine if I did that for 6 months and we just had 10 mil. And that's it.
That's it. We retire. You would hook me up. We
For sure. I'd hit you with $10.
that would be legit.
It's actually a great discussion topic is if you knew starting OnlyFans, you had to do it for 6 months. So you had to do it for a year, but you were going to make $10 million. Would you do it?
Well, dude, you have to give me the parameters. What do you mean by start an OnlyFans page?
Only you. Not this is singles only. This is not a
What, take my piece out?
yeah. Foot pics, you know,
Bro.
taking requests. But you're not actually like engaging in any sort of like
I'm
no. Well, no.
Then the answer is absolutely.
Okay, so that's where you draw the line.
No, I didn't say that. The problem is like, I mean, bro, yeah. As long as
$10 million is a lot of dollars.
$10 million, yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Because with $10 million, you would not. Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be enough.
With $10 million, I would have you invest that and you can make me like $10 a year and I'd be set. Have you invest my 10 million bucks and get a free coffee every year for it?
Like, hey, I know I just made you $1 million this year, but here's a $10. Here's a $10 gift card to Starbucks. You know
no, that would be sick, dude. But realistically, I need $100 million.
Why 100?
I need 100. That's been my number for a long time. Like winning the lottery or whatever. Like I need after tax. I need 100 million, and I could do all the things.
10
I
is
want
after
to do.
tax.
No, yeah, but I need 100.
Why?
Because that would enable me to do everything that I would like to do. That would enable me.
You couldn't do everything you want to do with $10 million.
No, because I don't have enough to give to people with 10 million. 10 million would hook me
In
and my
10 years
family
you
up
would.
for forever. It wouldn't allow me to give you what I want to give you, give Beck and Felipe, mom and dad, Sip's family, like even like friends and stuff to hook up, like and do certain things. Like I need 100 mil for that. 100 mil and we're all going to Sizzler.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I
10
guess.
mil, I'm chilling for the rest of my life. I can make 10 million and obviously work for me and my family for forever. But you ain't getting anything.
Dude, if I got 10
He's
million,
on the outside.
I'd give you 2.
No,
Yeah.
that would not be wise.
8 would be more than enough.
Yeah, but if you give me 2, you give me 2 on the DL?
Yeah, $2.
Yeah.
Maybe split 2 between you and everybody. I don't know. I definitely would give some away.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I do see your point, but I also think having even $1 million would be.
I mean, yeah,
You know.
dude. Give me 10 grand at this point, dude. Give me 10 G's. That's all I need right now, okay? And then after that, I'm gonna need 10 more. After that month's up, give me 10 more.
Yeah, it's who was I was talking to somebody about money and cost of living and what they spend on things and how much money they make and how much money they have in the bank, and I was sitting there dumbfounded because they're like, I feel poor, and they have
A
significant amount of resources at their disposal. And so a guy I used to work for would say that everybody lives to their means.
Yeah.
Like, or is it, no, he used to say something about like, you have what you earn and like you live to that potential. I don't know, some stupid shit about justifying not giving me a raise was basically like the you know, that was the moral of the story. Yeah. And, this person I was talking to was like, yeah, I feel poor. Like, da-da-da-da. I'm like, you're dumb. But it's just interesting how certain, like for some people, there is a number that they feel okay, I'm okay. And then for somebody else, that number's different. And it's
Yeah.
kind of subjective to an extent. Like obviously there's the, financial 101 is if you have 3 months of your living expenses in the bank, like you're in good shape.
Yeah.
Right? But
that was a big adjustment for sure, going to selling real estate and being commission only. It's like the biggest trip ever. Like, especially being in Orange County and getting big commissions and stuff. Like, I think one of my first checks was like 20 grand, and that hits your account, especially like at the time, and you're just like, oh, you feel like, and then you just see that 20 become 18, and then 17, and then 12. And then you're like, where's this next deal coming from? And then it's at 8, and then you start to trip a little bit, and then you get a $10,000 check. And you're like, whew, let's go, I'm good. And then that gets down to 3, and you're like, oh my God, dude, what am I going to do?
It is.
And then the next one comes, or it doesn't. And then you're like, holy shit, daddy Warbucks. No, but like seeing it like going down, and then seeing like when you do get like 2 or 3 deals in a row, and you're like, oh dang, like I got like a good amount of money right now. You're like, this is all time. But then it's always like, bro, I remember like I would sign like a listing agreement, or I would get a deal in escrow, and like you instantly like think, you start like calculating the commission. You're like, oh, okay, I'm going to make like X amount. It's going to be like, and then literally the day the deal closes, I'm just like, what's next?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do next? Like I haven't even gotten the money in my account yet. And I'm like, where's the next deal coming from? Like how am I making more money? I need like more. And it's just like it's a weird thing, especially getting involved, in this game once having kids and stuff, and just figuring that all out, But when those checks come, those first week or two, daddy's generous. And then I start counting my shekels after a couple months, and no coffee for you.
Yeah, start charging people to look at you.
Yeah.
No,
look at these nuts.
It's crazy because I pretty much am getting paid quarterly at this point.
Yeah.
Because that's when like my management fees get billed as every quarter. So getting paid every 3 months is.
Yeah.
I was like, imagine getting paid every 2 weeks.
This month?
No, I got one. What month is it? June?
Yeah.
No, I got one when Q2 ended. We're in Q3 now.
Well, hold on. So it's not like March.
No, so it's December, January, February, March.
Yeah.
Quarter ends. I get a check in April.
Oh,
and
okay.
April, May, June. And June ends, I'll get a check in July.
Yeah, so you're about to get one.
It's June.
Yeah, next month you get your next one.
Yeah, next month.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought you said this month.
Well, for this month, this would be the end when this month ends.
This is the end of the quarter.
Yes.
Yeah. So in 4.5 weeks.
Yeah. When this one ends though, this is the last of Q2. We technically haven't entered.
We're
Q3.
6 months through the year.
Yeah.
I'd never considered that June was the middle of the year until
dude.
Sarah mentioned that last night.
We're about to go back down south again because I have 2 weddings this coming weekend and the following weekend, and I've had these like wedding invites for literally like a year. Crazy. And you know how people like plan stuff like way in advance. I'm more of a wham bam thank you ma'am type. Started dating in August, engaged in December, married in June. But yeah, I've had these 2 wedding invites for literally like a year. I think I got them like when I moved here last year. And I remember like thinking like, dude, it's so far away. Like what the heck? And now it's just like here, I'm like, how the heck are we in June? Like
you've lived here for a year.
Yeah, literally. I think we moved here. I think today is the year anniversary.
Dang.
Yeah. Isn't that gnarly?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. So, yeah, we're going down and going to these weddings. I have, I talked about the bachelor party, Brandon Morris, he's getting married in Arrowhead, so that'll be sick. I'm excited to go there. We got an Airbnb because I get to be a part of the wedding party, so I'm there for the Friday night rehearsal dinner and then Saturday wedding. So we're going there, and then the following.
Is this like you have to select your entree kind of wedding or a taco truck kind of wedding?
Dude, I think everything now is like
tacos.
No. Other way around.
Entrees.
I've never been to a wedding really, unless it's like the Millers or like us.
Yeah.
That
it's entrees, like chicken or fish kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Damn, I've never been to a wedding like that.
Really?
Never.
Yeah, you've only been to them church weddings.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when they do like a potluck.
Yeah.
And all the grandmas are making green bean casserole.
Yeah.
No, I've never. I don't. No. I've only.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've never been to a wedding where the invitation was like chicken or fish. The most recent wedding I went to was Evan and Kira's, and that one was like pizza and tacos and beer and
nice. Yeah, no, this is like a full on deal. So
catered kind of deal.
Yeah, I don't know what. I just chose whatever. And then the next weekend is one of my best friend Kyle, his little brother Zach is getting married. So that was cool that I got that invite.
Thanks.
So I'm not in
Where's
that
that
wedding.
One?
That one's in San Clemente. So
that'll be sick. At the
I don't know where it is. I went to a wedding. Another one of my close friends got married like 2 years ago in San Clemente. I don't think it's the same venue, but it was fun. That was
down
a cool
on, like
wedding.
right there on the beach by the train tracks.
I don't know.
That's where Sean Banks got married.
That wedding was fun.
Yeah,
that was a boozy wedding. Not bougie, boozy.
Boozy with a Z.
My buddy Dylan was living in San Clemente. We all met at his house before, and then like all of our wives like drove us down, and it was just all the boys, and we were literally driving down, getting out of the car, chugging Buffalo Trace as we walked into the wedding. Like it was insane.
Oh,
it was insane.
boy.
That was the wedding. One of the guy that got married, one of his groomsmen worked for Pit Viper. And so he just had all these Pit Vipers to give to the whole like wedding, like everyone there. That's how I got those two pairs for us. And I thought like they were like, at the time I didn't realize what they were. I was like, what? Like I didn't know the company. And I was like, oh, and then I recognized them from Instagram. They're like $90 glasses. And he literally gave out like 100 of them.
Oh.
Yeah. He had just like cases of them to like give out. And we were all wearing them in all the pictures and stuff. Sick. It was sick.
Nice.
But yeah, so that'll be fun. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I got some trail shoes.
You did get some trail shoes. Thank the sweet baby Jesus. You have finally been converted.
Yeah. I feel
Last
like being
man
here
standing converted you.
True.
I feel like that was the thing that pushed you over the edge.
A little bit. And
to
not
embrace the darkness.
Well, that one, I don't even know that they were using trail shoes on that.
They may not have been, but it was in the dirt.
It was in the dirt. I think because I saw Kim, one of the guys, he showed his 4 like shoes that he wore during it, and I don't think that they were. I think he had a pair, but he showed in order like the ones he wore the most, and like the one he wore the most was I think just a regular one. But then yeah, dude, like watching Max Jolliffe do King of Moab, that was super inspiring, and then Cam Haynes and Max both doing Cocodona. And just being in Reading, I'm trying to, expand to being a little more outdoorsy. I'm trying to become a billy goat like yourself. So I ordered some trail shoes, and hopefully I'm going to go in Arrowhead.
I sent you a list of
I looked
stuff
up
to
some
look at.
too. So.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'll be curious to see what that feels like on your lungs, being at, I think it's 6,000 feet.
Yeah.
So I could be completely wrong on what the elevation is of Lake Arrowhead. I'll look, but it's significant.
Yeah, it's way different than running at sea level for sure.
Yeah.
So
we got a modest 700 feet here in Reading.
Do we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh dang.
Yeah. My house is 710, and here at the office it is 562.
Okay.
Yeah. So
sick.
Not much of a difference.
I wonder what my house is because we're on the little.
Probably, I imagine in the 600s, maybe 700s, because you're up like on that hill.
Yeah.
Rich guy mountain, man.
Yeah. So
Your ivory tower.
yeah.
Trail shoes it'll be good. And I think you'll notice, well, obviously you're recovering from your hammy and we ran yesterday and felt fine. But I think once you get back into your normal swing doing trails, you're going to feel way faster on flat.
I saw a podcast and it was Sally. I think her last name's McCree. She's like this insane ultra runner. She's the hat that the blue stay sturdy.
That's her
hat.
company?
Well, that's like her. Yeah. It was like a merch drop that she did. She's done like Leadville 100 and like Western States Ultra. And like, I think she's done Cocodona. She actually is from Huntington. Lives in Huntington still. And I think she might be like a coach at Huntington High School, like a cross country coach or something. She's super legit. But she was talking about how if you can do like a street, like run a marathon on like concrete, like normal marathon, you can do a 50-mile trail run.
I believe it, dude.
She was like saying how much like more your body hurts from a normal marathon and the pounding it takes than like trails. And you can definitely do like a 50-mile ultra if you can. So I was like, damn, that was cool to hear.
I wonder too, because, and obviously there's people, and I see it just from, you can look at segments on Strava for different people that have run the same trail or different routes. And so one that I run like pretty frequently now is Chemise Peak, and you'll see like other people's times going up and down Chemise Peak, and some people fly
really
up and down. But my experience has been I'm much slower on trails. Much slower might be an exaggeration.
You like have to be. Like
you
that's
have
like
to,
what it is.
But that's so I think that could be part of it as well, with her point of like you're forced to run slower, so you're not
and just
pushing as hard.
Too.
The softness. Some of the trails here get kind of like rocky, which is not fun. But
when you do that one, like going up, like what's your pace? Is it like in the 10s or higher than that?
No, it's like high 9s, low 10s.
It is.
Depends on how hot it is outside. Like when I ran it on, I did it on
pretty
Monday.
Like steep though?
Yeah, it's 770 feet of elevation gain.
Okay, I don't really know what that means.
It just means that just means that's how much you climb.
I know, but like steepness, is it very gradual or is it like?
There's parts of it that are kind of gradual, and then there's other parts that are very significant, but for very short sections. So it's not like
to run though the whole time.
Yeah,
you don't have to walk.
Yeah, that was the goal when I started doing it, was to run the whole thing.
Nice.
And then you fly down it because you run. That's the day I sent you, and I was at like a 6:45 pace coming down.
Dang.
That's because I had obviously the descent, so that pace was
how
completely
many
juiced.
Miles is it to like?
The loop is 4.8, but when I get down to the parking lot where the trailhead is, I'll run like the other 0.2 so that it's a full 5.
Okay, sick.
But that's a fun one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that one I sent you. I think it's in Crystal Cove.
It is. It's where we would mountain bike. Yeah, that's the same parking lot. You take the 73 out and you get off at Newport Coast, and then you go right where Sharky's is. You turn left and go up.
Oh, really?
It's Ridgecrest or Ridge. It's Ridgecrest Park. Yeah. There's a park right there.
The only thing that I'm like sketched about, not sketched, but since I don't do those, like, how do you know like where to go? Is it all you just stay on a trail? There's only like one trail, or
isn't this a run club? Isn't there going to be other people there?
No. This was for a run club. I just screenshotted to see the location.
Yeah, that would be tricky because you haven't done it before. No, because there's multiple trails. So it starts as a fire road, and then it like splits off down into like a single track, real technical single track that like mountain bikers like to use. But then you can take the fire road all the way to the coast, all the way into Laguna.
Nice.
You end up like right behind Laguna Beach High School.
Okay. Yeah. What I saw, it was like almost a 6-mile loop. That's what I wanted to try and do.
If you stay, you'll notice like if it's where I think it is, and I'm pretty positive it is, it's a wide, it looks like a road, like a street, but it's dirt. It's a fire road. So it's wide. If you stay on that wide part, just run 3 point whatever and turn around, you'll be fine.
Okay.
But that'll be fun. That'll be a good.
Yeah. When I get back, we should start incorporating it, like doing one run a week or something.
No, it's great. It's I know my point with that whole tangent was I think you're gonna notice feeling way faster when you go back to the river trail.
Yeah.
Like you'll do, a 7-mile run on the trail, and then the next day do a 7-mile run, and you'll do that. You'll get so much faster.
Sick.
It's a little sketchy sometimes because you're literally out in the middle of nothing, and your cell phone doesn't work, and you have no service, and it's just you.
Crazy. I know, that is gnarly to think about.
But it's also like you kind of come back and you're like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You're just touch the fire.
Yeah. Do you ever bring like water on those runs? You don't?
No.
Got to get that little backpack thing.
Those are sick. I would get one of those. I tried the water bottle that you had.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
I know you said that. I don't get why it doesn't bother me holding
it bothered me when I bought it. Sarah was like, "You're gonna hate that," and I was like, "Oh no, it's fine. Like HUD uses it. It'll be great." She's like, "I just know you. It's gonna annoy the shit out of you." And sure enough,
it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
people wear that one. And
people wear that
those
one
are cool.
that they put the 2 water bottles like in the thing like that. I feel like that's like you have that thing. You're an ultra guy.
Yeah. Usually, when I did my first marathon, so that would have been your second one, technically your third because you did the half and then the full, and then I did a full with you. Or wait, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I did most of my training on the trails, but I didn't have. It was when I didn't bring my phone with me because I didn't realize that our Legend shorts had a phone pocket.
Oh, really?
So I would just go with my watch, but I would do it on like Strava on beacon mode. So Sarah would be able to see my live location in Strava. One time my watch died.
She thought you were dead as well.
No, I left to go. It was like in the middle of our training. I had to do like a 14-mile run or something.
Yeah.
So I left to go do it at like 2:30 in the afternoon. And that for me at that point, that 14-mile run, that was like a 2-hour plus endeavor. And so I left, and it was in like the winter-ish, early spring. So it was dark.
Yeah.
Like 4:30, and my watch dies. I was like, oh shit. And I still have like a mile left.
Yeah.
And I had my phone in the truck. So I was like, okay, as soon as I get back to the truck, I can text her. But I'm like watching the sun go down. It's getting darker and darker and darker. And my watch is dead. I'm like, she's going to be so pissed.
Yeah.
So I get back to the truck, and where I had parked the car where you started the Reading Marathon at the top of Shasta Dam, there's no cell service either.
Oh,
so
really?
I get back to the truck, and I was like, shit. So I like drive for probably 5-10 minutes. And it's completely dark at this point.
Damn.
And I text her, and
she
texted me. She's like, are you almost home? She had texted me like 10 or 15 minutes before I got back to the truck. And I text her, and I was like, I'm fine. I'm on my way home. My watch died. She's like, you have to bring your phone with you from now on.
And that you just didn't know that there was that pocket. That's so funny.
Didn't know. Because I used to use my Apple Watch. I would play music from it and podcast from it. So I didn't need my phone.
Oh, yeah. I remember you would do that.
Now I don't do that.
Yeah.
But
we've upgraded to some Garmin's. Mm-hmm. Big boys over here now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I've been looking at the new Phoenix 6s, the Garmin watches.
Really?
That's what like all the real pros use. That's the one you got to get.
Is that one like the $1,000 one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Truett Haynes posted his watch, and he had like a code for like $200 off. It was literally 1,000 to 800. I was just like, oh
yeah. No,
don't tell me this is $1,000 watch.
Yeah. But even just the technology in those other ones is crazy. They have so many different features. What's even interesting is like the difference in features between your watch and my watch.
Yeah, mine's the most basic thing like ever.
Yeah.
And I don't use the other ones. That's why I wouldn't pay. I literally just want it to tell me how far I ran, what my heart rate was, and what my pace is. That's all I use it for. You definitely have it more. Well, you're
this was one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. Thank you, Mom and Dad. It was it's literally, if I was an object, I would be this watch. It's minimal, it's rugged, but it's data centric.
Super gay.
It's analytical.
Yeah.
Keeps the peace.
Yeah.
And super gay. Yeah.
No, that one's sick.
By the way, what do you got up those shorts? Anything? Anything for daddy?
Little trouser snake. Which one is that one again?
Instinct 2.
Instinct 2.
Instinct
Nice.
2. Not solar. They have a solar version of this. But I don't really like that solar. That solar shit's kind of,
Yeah.
weird.
You like drive a Tesla if you have a solar watch?
Mm-hmm. And you are a big fan of June.
I'm a huge fan of June. It's my Sunday Scott's birthday.
Yeah, and Penny Pesos.
Yeah. Sunday's kicks off summer, June 21st. Summer solstice, baby. Shout out. She's going to be 5 years old, dude. How crazy is that?
Humanly possible.
5 years old. That's like big, man.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a baby anymore, and she'll let you know about it.
That's like Penny this morning when she's trying to get the lime that she put in my coffee. The first coffee I had this morning, she cut a lime and put it in there, and she's trying to scoop it out. And I was like, "Do you want help?" She's like, "No, I'm a big girl." Like, no, Penny, you're little. She's like, "I'm not little, Dad.
Yeah,
I'm a big girl."
Just pissed at you.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Please take away all the sharp objects.
She's as tall as Sunday, so
yeah.
She already got bigger feet than her too. You can thank her dad for that.
My feet aren't that. They're average.
No, a size 12 and a half is not average.
12 and a half. These are 11 and a half.
What size shoes did you get today?
My running shoes are a 12 and a half.
Yeah.
These
I saw the size on there and I just said, must be nice.
What I have in shoe length, I lack in
girth. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
No. What are you gonna do while I'm gone? You gonna miss me?
No.
You guys are gonna watch the fights this weekend potentially. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I have to mix on Saturday until 7, but that's when it starts.
That's when the pay-per-view starts.
So I think Marin and some dudes from the gym are gonna come right before the card starts as I'm finishing up.
Yeah.
So
like
fun.
Some of the same guys as last time.
I don't know. I'll probably text a few people and invite them. But
maybe Isaiah would come this time.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think he's into it.
Yeah, he does jujitsu.
Yeah, he does jujitsu. Isn't he pretty good at jujitsu?
Yeah, I think he's a brown belt.
Yeah.
Probably a blue belt. Maybe he's a white belt. I don't know.
He is a freaking little fire hydrant. No, he's not that little, actually. He's probably, I don't even know. He's as short as he is wide, and he's like 6 feet tall. So
yeah, he's
not somebody I'd want to mess with.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
It's been fun to get to know him a little bit more.
Calves like footballs.
Dude, do you follow him on Instagram?
Uh-huh.
Did you see the thing he posted? It was probably several weeks ago now about when he started CrossFit versus now.
Yeah. That was gnarly. I was like, damn. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Like he was doing that specific lift, which I don't even know what it is, but some snatch thing or something. And he couldn't do any weight.
Who came up with these names for these lifts?
Someone that liked vagina.
Brad Pitt and Snatch.
Nice.
That's a great movie.
Yeah,
Speaking of movies, watched Contraband for the first time. Sarah told me that she thought she had seen it. I said I don't think so. But then at the end, when, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie.
Yeah, what was it? 2012 or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
When he's asks the construction crew to start pouring concrete in a different wall than they had planned, and her body's just wrapped in plastic wrap. And I was like, I remember this. But then I was thinking there was a very similar scene in that show Dexter.
Oh.
Because that's what he would do to all his victims, is wrap them in plastic wrap.
Yeah. No, Contraband is
excellent.
A really good
Lots
movie.
of good character development throughout the movie, which is
how
important.
Much do you just hate that brother-in-law?
Well, you like him at first.
No. The kid, her brother, that gets him into the deal.
Travis?
Yeah, no. That's not his. That's just his best friend.
That's his brother-in-law. Yeah.
No, the guy that you like at first, the blonde
stabs
guy.
him in the back. Yeah.
He's his best friend, but the brother-in-law is just a little rat, dude, that just tries to get involved in everything, and you just
he takes the money out of the van to go buy drugs in Panama, and you're just like, you little.
How sick is that opening? It's not opening scene, but at the beginning though, when Mark Wahlberg goes to the pool hall to talk to him about like paying off the debt.
Oh yeah.
And the Giovanni Ribisi's like telling him that this isn't his world anymore and stuff like that. And he's just like so badass. He just pulls up after like working. What does he do? He does like security.
Security, yeah.
Yeah, like installs like security.
Yeah. No, the best is
when
he gets back from Panama and Giovanni Ribisi's character sitting in the front seat of his Bronco, and he like honks at him and it's like, where's the shit? And Mark Wahlberg's like, what are you talking about? There is no shit. It's like, well, say goodbye to your brother-in-law. And he like pulls the gun on him, and then Mark Wahlberg just rips him out of the front seat and starts beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then the guy, he's just squirming on the ground.
Dude, he plays that role so good because he's like a gnarly, like scary looking badass, but he's just a little weasel. Yeah. Just getting his ass whooped by Mark Wahlberg. He was super
good in Boiler Room.
Yeah. Dude, he's a great actor.
Do you ever watch Sneaky Pete on Amazon? That's a good one. If you like him, he's in that one.
Is that a show or a movie?
It's a show. It's a series, yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other one. He did another that he's like really known for, another movie. Can you think of any of his like major roles?
Boiler Room. That's the only one I can think of.
Later than that. I don't know, but he's great.
Yeah.
He's always like, he's never really the main guy, but he's just like a great supporting cast member. That's a super good movie. If you haven't seen it, Contraband, check it out.
That's also a great thing. A great place to be as an actor.
Yeah.
Like not a leading role, but a supporting actor that's good and does like lots of movies.
Yeah.
You like fly under the radar. And
he's definitely a little under the radar.
Go places and people aren't going to recognize you or bother you, which maybe he probably gets recognized.
Dude, I saw this Instagram clip came up of Shia LaBeouf in like another country, and he was just like walking down the street and these people swarming him. It honestly made me like feel bad for him. It was like kind of saying that he like handled it like good, but dude, he was so, and I get that he's like so dramatic and like kind of, he's one of my favorite actors. I love him. He definitely can be like a douche and he has like some serious issues, but I was just like putting myself in his shoes about how frustrating that must be. I can't remember where he was, but literally people were just like grabbing him. He was like walking and he kept like stopping to take like pictures, and he would literally be like the most pissed off, and they would take it and he'd just be like, he'd like give a thumbs up or like put his arm around him, and they kept like grabbing him, and he'd like stop, be like, dude, don't touch me. And the people would be like, I'm sorry. But they're like speaking and like, and he'd be like, and at one point he's like, don't turn me into my old self. Like, get your hands off me. And they would just like, he just kept trying to walk. He's like, guys, you've gotten it. He's like, dude, you got 3 pictures. That's enough. Like, and he'd just keep going. And then they'd be like, no, one for my sister. He'd like stop and like put his thumb up, and he'd like try and keep walking. And they'd be like, no, Shia. And like keep grabbing him. He's like, guys, like, chill. I took one with each one of you. It's like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
And he just like keeps cruising. And it's literally like 20 people just like grabbing onto his shirt and like grabbing his hand and stuff. And he's just like trying to walk down the street. I'm like, oh, dude, that would get so old. That would be
I get
rough.
pissed when we go to Evergreen and Sarah like sees her friends. We're like trying to go to Evergreen for a date, and we like run into someone she knows or run into someone I know. We end up like talking to somebody for 10 minutes and we only have 20 minutes to be there.
Yeah.
That would drive me insane.
Yeah. Imagine that life. You literally, like, people talk about like, oh, they can't go to the grocery store and stuff, but you like that video kind of put it in a little bit of perspective, because it wasn't like so extreme where I think he was by himself. He didn't have like security, and they weren't like, you know, it wasn't like he was coming out, you know, when you see like TMZ, they're like coming out of a store and there's like 100 people, but it's like roped off, and like you can't, like, he was just like cruising at night and like super under the radar, but people like found him and just like swarmed him, and he's just like, that would not be cool.
Dang.
Yeah. How about Peanut Butter Falcon though, right, guys?
That was a good one. And the other one he did
about his dad?
Yeah,
Honey Boy.
I like that one more.
Honey Boy was really good.
But my favorite movie he's in is Even Stevens.
Transformers?
No. I never saw that one. I really liked him in Fury.
Oh, dude, he's so good in everything. He's like a really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fury, he's great.
Even Stevens was such a great show.
That was a classic one. Beans Aaron Garen, shout out.
Yeah, crackhead. Isn't he a crackhead?
Seems to be doing great these days.
Is he clean?
No, I have no idea. I was kidding. I think he's like in a screamo band.
Talk about an ugly ass dude, bro.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to be him for sure. But you know, when your name's Beans Aaron Garen, it's not going to be great.
It's not his real name.
Of course it is. This guy's never going to be named anything else.
How about just in the casting session, they're like, "Yep, you're ugly enough."
Yeah, you're going to be Beans. You're going to play that role.
What? I thought it was going to be what was his character in Even Stevens' name? Shia LaBeouf's.
I have no idea. Their last name is Stevens.
Yeah. Maybe his name's Even.
Ren. Ren was his sister. Remember
Ren
that?
was his sister.
Ren. Oh, what was his name? If you know it, let us know. But yeah,
If somebody doesn't respond and tell us the name of Shia LaBeouf, there will not be an episode 28.
and we would like to have an episode 28, but it won't be next week.
No, it won't be because
It
you're
won't
going to
be next week because I'm gone. So we'll hit you back with episode 28 in 2 weeks. This one will be released on June 6th, 6/6.
D-Day, baby.
It'll be out for you. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, follow, all the things. Feedback is always welcome, and we appreciate you guys for listening.
Yeah.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks. Thanks again.